discuss the trends in immigration, focusing on its major thrust. India has one of the world's most diverse and complex migration histories. Since the 19th century, ethnic Indians have established communities and on every continent as well as on islands in the Caribbean and the Pacific and Indian Ocean. The composition of the flows has evolved over time from mainly indentured labor in far-flung colonies to post-war labor from British industry and high-skilled professionals in North America and low-skilled workers in Middle East. In addition, ethnic Indians in countries like Kenya and Suriname have migrated to other countries, a movement called secondary migration. Factors responsible for immigration are push factor, lack of employment, or entrepreneurial opportunities, lack of political and religious rights, threat of arrest or punishment, and persecution or intolerance based on race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation, inability to find a spouse for marriage, lack of freedom to choose religion and to choose no religion, shortage of farmland, hard to start new farms, and oppressive legal or political conditions, struggling or failing economic, military, drought, warfare, or terrorism, famine, or drought, cultural fights with other cultural groups, expulsion of armed force, and overpopulation. Pull factor, favorable later relatives or informants who have already moved, chain migration, better opportunities for acquiring farm for self and children, cheap purchase of farmland, quick wealth, as in a gold rush, more jobs opportunities, promise of higher pay, prepaid travel, better welfare programs, and better school, join relatives who have already moved, chain migration, build a new nation historically, and building a specific cultural and regional communities, political freedom, cultural opportunities, greater opportunity to find its spouse. These factors leads to following pattern in migration to high-wage economies. In the first decades after independence, unskilled, skilled, or professional workers, mostly from male Punjabi Sikhs, migrated from India to UK. This is commonly attributed to Britain's post-war demand for low-skilled labor, post-colonial ties, and the UK's Commonwealth immigration policy, which allowed any citizen of a Commonwealth country to live, work, and vote and hold public office in the UK. In the mid-1960s and in 1960s, most Indians coming to the UK were dependents, according to government statistics. Dependents made up 75% of all Indians, emerging in 1965 and 80% in 1966. Okay, flows peaked in 1968 at just over 23,000 between 1972 and 1996. An average 5,800 Indian immigrants landed every year in the UK. Indian immigration landed every year in the UK, and Indian immigration sharply increased again between 1995 and 2000. Indian student migration. 5 countries account for 90% of all Indian tertiary students abroad. The US is by far the most important destination country, receiving more than half of the worldwide expatriate Indian students. Secondary migration of the Indian diaspora due to racial pressures and economic instability. In some of the countries where Indians settled in the colonial era, many of them and their descendants went to India or to other countries. These types of flows, known as secondary migration, took place from East Africa, Fiji, and some Caribbean countries. Temporary labor migration to West Asia. Significant migration from India to Persian Gulf began in the 1970s, following the oil boom. Since then, an increasing number of Sunni and unskilled workers from South India have worked in the Gulf countries on temporary migration scheme in the oil industry and in service and construction. So thank you.